Hello and welcome back to TF1C, the Formula 1 chat. We are here after the Monaco Grand Prix to discuss a brilliant race. I believe this will be the second video going out of the Formula 1 weekend roundup. It's Formula 1 and it was the main race. Checo Perez obviously with the win. But we'll start with qualifying. It was a weekend where last year Max Verstappen was dominant, but this year didn't seem to be on pace all weekend. Leclerc took pole. It was a pretty comfortable pole after Perez and Sainz's incident.
Yeah.
I mean, that was strange. I'm kind of stunned Sainz didn't get anything for that. Didn't get another reprimand. I know he needs 5 to get to a penalty, but you'd expect that to be a reprimand or even a grid drop penalty. But
Yeah, I mean, he clearly saw the yellow flag, but I guess it didn't really affect too much going into the race. I still think he'd ended up where he was.
no, but if that's a worse incident, then he comes in and
Yeah.
hits that, and then
I see your point.
Worse. But then, Max fourth was on a faster lap, was quicker than Charles through the first sector actually in quali. So had that took away from him. Other big stories: Merck were really struggling for pace in qualifying.
Yeah,
McLaren looks all
6-8.
right. Well, Norris looks all right. Ricciardo's still underperforming.
I mean, Lando was only 5 tenths off Leclerc, who Leclerc's pole time of 1:11.3.
Yeah.
Ricciardo all the way down in P14. Is really struggling this season and last.
Yeah.
You know, since joining McLaren, it hasn't been great for Ricciardo.
No, he's just not like that. It was first season. You can go, he's not adapting with the car. He's not really, getting to grips with it. This season, though, it's just plain underperformance. You can't describe it as anything else because other drivers that have had just a season in the car, Sainz and Perez are a 1-2 today. Ricciardo was down in 13th, well off the pace. Second last of people that didn't get lapped. So, not great for him.
No, not.
And he would have got lapped without the copious amounts of red flags and safety cars and stuff.
The Alonso train.
The Alonso train. To be fair, that pushed him back a lot. Then, on to race day. Very, very wet. And we get a lovely, it was an hour in the end,
delay,
I think, delay to the race start. So that was bloody lovely. Eventually got underway at about 3 o'clock. Leclerc in the wet from a rolling start. I see at the time a lot of people thought, it's too wet, that's why we're not starting, too dangerous. But it seems now to be a power issue, and actually they couldn't turn the lights on.
Which is
to do the starting grid. So
you do need the 5 red lights to start the race.
It's no lights and we're underway.
Yeah.
So that would have been a little bit, interesting. So it was Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, Max, but no one could really get anywhere near each other in the wet.
No.
Then eventually we saw Gasly pit for Inters, and he had a lot of pace.
Very quick.
That was when I was confused that Red Bull didn't pit Max, instead they pitted Perez, because Max was further down, and he'd have come into a really nice gap. So I think they could have pitted him earlier and profited a lot more than they did. But, I mean, it turned out all right for Red Bull in the end.
Red Bull nailed it, really.
Eventually, Checo came in, was the first out of the top 4 to pit. And then, he had some absolutely immense pace.
Yeah. Undercut.
Crazy pace.
Undercut Charles. So then you had the order. So Sainz led on wets.
Yeah, so they brought... Once the pit stops had, come through, Leclerc and Max came in, same lap. It was then Sainz on wets, Perez, Leclerc, Verstappen all on inters. Then, crossover onto dries came. Carlos Sainz comes in for hards, but then they pull Perez in on the... they pull Leclerc in on the same lap. And then that fucks over Charles. So obviously the Red Bulls go through. They're then in a 1-2. Sainz holds up Leclerc in the pits.
And even that, the overcut was massive from Red Bull.
Yeah, huge. They come out in a 1-3. Ferrari in a 2-4. And through the pits, Leclerc went from leading to 4th.
And he was sat in 4th, very frustrated with Ferrari.
Then
they got it very wrong.
I mean, absolutely howler from them. Then after a few laps like that, we had the red flag. Obviously, Mick Schumacher
big crash,
losing the car, and that caused a safety car and then a red flag, which gave a chance to change tyres. This is when I think Red Bull made a slight blunder, but could you call it blunder? I don't know. They changed onto mediums, and on one hand, it's like, well, they lost a load of pace at the end and then were under pressure. But on the other, I don't know where the Red Bull pace was at this weekend, really. I think Ferrari had a tenth or two on them each lap. So maybe the mediums kept a minute for a while, and then overtaking at Monaco is very difficult anyway. So I don't think Sainz was going to get that move, even if they had gone to 77 laps.
I do.
Also, Red Bull wouldn't have gone
I
to
do
mediums.
think, as we know, track position is key at Monaco. I feel if we were somewhere else, maybe even a Spain, just down the main straight, I think Sainz probably would have got Checo. But the fact we're at Monaco really helped. But take nothing away from Checo, fantastic drive and thoroughly deserves the win.
Yeah, fantastic drive indeed. Other news, Magnussen just randomly quit.
Water leak.
Yeah.
A bit of a problem.
Didn't even notice him. Then obviously Schumacher, the Haas ripped into two. Huge incident for him. Great to see he's okay, but yeah, I mean, the Haas crashes look worse when they split into two, but that is part of the design. Yeah, it's not just an unfortunate thing of driving a Haas. If you are in a crash, you will die. No, the Haas car is very safe. That's designed that way. Albon is... How did he retire?
He packed it in.
Yeah.
He had enough. Gave up. I think he was a lap down.
Pretty much.
And he was 17 seconds off Latifi, which says it all, really.
Yeah, Tsunoda Joe Latifi also a lap down. Then you had the Alonso train, which is the most comical thing. I think he was trying to back Hamilton into Ocon, but it just didn't work as designed.
He saved his tyres, and then after leading a train for like 10, 15 laps, he then just zoomed and took the fastest lap at the time. But yeah, it was great to see Lewis all getting all angry behind him. I mean, he had a train from 7th to 17th.
Yeah,
40 seconds behind the leaders.
If we had gone to 77 laps, the leaders would have caught him.
Yeah.
So that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, Sainz complained about the back markers anyway, when there's only 3 of them, ruining his chance of going for the lead. So that...
Which wasn't why he lost the race.
No, I don't think he would have got even without them. Monaco is impossible to overtake. And Perez knew exactly where to place the car to win the race. Norris, P6, good result for him. He only lost 1 from his grid spot.
And he
got fastest lap as well.
And he's only 2 tenths behind Russell in a race to the line. So very good, very good.
Strong race
for Lando.
Strong for the McLarens. I have to say I got it wrong with the predictions because obviously it was Perez first, Sainz second, Verstappen third, Leclerc fourth. I mean, I had Magnussen up there. He finished dead last.
I'm quite happy with mine. I put Leclerc fifth. He was only fourth. I had Lando up there in fourth. He was sixth. That's quite
interesting to see though. Perez had a lot of pace here. Very much.
Checo looks very quick.
He's in some really, really strong form. Max just didn't seem to get dialed in with the car all weekend. Looked a little bit off the pace. I think fortunate to come away gaining on Leclerc. I think that's very strong. But the people have been creating, especially like the media all around F1, this dynamic of a Verstappen Leclerc title fight. But Perez is very much in there. I think. The fact that Max has had an extra DNF obviously played a part in it, and then I know people were going, but then Perez team orders at Barcelona. Equally, Max had a problem with his DRS, and then Max made a problem for himself with his DRS. So I think without that, it wouldn't have really mattered.
I do. Obviously, Red Bull want Checo to be quick, but I do have a funny feeling he's probably a bit too quick for their liking. Obviously, last year
I think it's all right now.
Quite there, but yeah, because what I think is great with Checo is that he has the pace to win the races, but he is happy to let Max win when he needs to, because he's a great teammate. He's a great teammate, and he shows, because that's the thing. In Spain, he was very quick, but he knows he's got to let Max pass there, and he did so, and that's it's a very good thing. But then also, when Max isn't as quick, Max isn't on the pace to win the race.
He's there.
In Monaco, Perez is
he's sweeping up the points. I think that's key because obviously when Albon and Gasly were around, they were gifting points to Lewis in championship fights because it was Lewis winning every single time that Max wasn't, obviously. I mean, the Merc were too dominant then anyway, but yeah, I mean, it helps to have him right up there because it would be, if it was like Albon or Gasly or an equivalently bad driver, well, I wouldn't say bad, but struggling, then it would be Sainz taking the win today. That's another 25 points. And Leclerc would have then got more points. And then you don't have the strategy cards to play.
I also look at it from a constructor's point of view. Max and Perez, they've taken 1-2s this year. They've taken 1-3s. I think they will walk away at constructors just because Ferrari, it's either one or the other. So mostly it's been Leclerc up there this season and Sainz hasn't.
Yeah.
But then obviously Spain, Leclerc was out, Sainz was only third, and today
Sainz was third.
Fourth,
Sainz was
sorry.
fourth, yeah.
Exactly. That proves my point even
Well,
more.
he had the gravel moment.
And then today, when Sainz is more on the pace, Leclerc obviously got messed up by pit
Sainz
stop,
only got
but again,
fourth
he's not
because
that.
of the Merc problems. If not, Lewis would have got fourth. So that says a lot. Before we get into the championship, I just want to quickly look at the calendar because I think up next, Azerbaijan, interesting that'll be. Big long straight will favour. Well, to be honest, we don't know who'll have more upgrades and stuff, so we don't know who'll favour yet. At the moment, it's not kind of like, oh, that's a Red Bull track, that's a Ferrari track, we know who's going to win. It's very much, whose car's quickest this weekend then?
I mean, if I'm looking at it from a driver point of view, Max and Checo are both very strong here last year, and Leclerc is stupid.
Leclerc took pole here last year, but then quickly got overtaken because the Ferrari was nowhere near the Merc or the Red Bull in terms of pace. Max dominated it until obviously his tyre blowout. Then Perez ends up taking the win after Lewis's a big error. But again, it's another street circuit. It's a lot more of a fast-paced street circuit where overtaking is very, very possible. I think in raw pace, I think Ferrari and Leclerc might just have an edge. Yeah. But in terms of being able to overtake and fight and know how to win a championship fight, I think Max has the edge there. So where there is chances to overtake.
Not even Max,
Azerbaijan. Yeah, I'd say Perez over Sainz as well.
Madness. But I also do think that I think this could be another 2-on-1. I don't see Sainz being on the pace.
Interesting. Yeah. Wasn't quick there last year, but then equally the Ferrari wasn't great anywhere last year. And then after that we've got Canada, which is usually a Ferrari circuit, but we've not been there a few years. Bit of rustiness.
New regs, new cars.
Yeah, if anything, I'd be back in Checo Perez because he's got the experience.
Yeah.
Like Max, I know he's been there since 2016, but that's still only 3 races there. Mm-hmm. Whereas Checo's done 10, something like that. Charles done 2 races, 1 race at Canada, something like that. And 2, and then
that is
Sainz
what
has done
hold.
3.
He has the experience over Max, Leclerc, and Sainz.
Yeah, not exactly a fight at the front, but just in Formula 1 in general. Yeah. But after Canada, Great Britain, we saw Red Bull very quick there last year. Max really enjoys Silverstone.
Max ran away with that if he hadn't.
I think he could have a good race there. Austria should be a big Red Bull win. So should France. And then it's Hungary, and then we get season break. Hungary very much could go either way. There's a lot of upgrades to come between now and the end of July.
I think it's going to be tough
2 months between now and then.
That Hungary will be a big race for Ferrari because if I looked at it from a Ferrari point of view, Austria, Red Bull will be stronger, France, Red Bull will be stronger, Hungary a bit. Then after the season,
it's very difficult to predict from now, but based off previous seasons and usual
and
pace
then after the season break, you're looking at Belgium and Netherlands,
where Max.
Obviously,
but then you have Monza.
Charles won in Spa. Could he win in Monza as well? He wins in Spa and wins in Monza again, then.
Yeah, but there wasn't Netherlands in between.
Yeah, I think that Netherlands is going to be huge.
Back then, you did Ferrari were a lot quicker than Red Bull. It was very much Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull were also there, but not quite in the fight. Whereas, of course, you can't really look that far ahead. There's a lot of upgrades to come throughout this season as the teams learn more about the new cars and develop more things. You never know. Haas could find out how to stick a rocket booster on the back of their car, win every race now until the end of the season. Very dull. Who knows? And then, Singapore.
They are gone.
Monza, Singapore should be Ferrari, if I was going to predict. And then Japan, US, Mexico, Brazil, all Red Bull tracks.
And
Abu Dhabi, no one cares. Yeah. I mean, Max has a lot of good memories from there.
Do you want to go into the championship?
Sure. Let's have a quick glance. Obviously, drivers Max Verstappen maintains his lead. In fact, extends his advantage at the front to 9 points now. He's on 125. Charles on 116, just 6 points ahead of Perez now. So if it was to be a 1-2, and Charles wasn't third, and Perez is the second one there, then Perez could be ahead of him in the championship. Which would be very interesting.
That would be the thing. If Checo is up there, what did Red Bull do?
And could it end up costing Red Bull? Because if Checo's in the fight,
They can't pull the team orders card.
not really, because they can't go, oh, Max is in the fight, you've got a championship fight, you've got to let him pass. If Checo is right up there in the championship, so
One thing you don't want is a Hamilton-Rosberg dynamic.
it begs. I would want to see his contract. What does it say? Does it say you are the second driver, or does it say we treat you equally? Because if so,
I won't be surprised.
Kinda has to be thingy,
I would
but-
expect it to say you are obliged to let Max pass when asked to do so.
Yeah, I guess. But Russell's still fourth. He's on
Another
84
P5
points.
today. Very strong result.
The difference is right now because there's only 9 points between Max and Charles, but between Perez and Sainz there is 27 points. That's a full race win and then another point. Full race win plus fastest lap and then another point on top of that. So yeah, Sainz quite off at the moment. Then it's Lewis on 50, Norris on 48 has closed that gap up
He's
a little
had a great
bit.
season, Lando.
Yeah, quietly going about his business. Another very strong result here, especially when you've taken into consideration that Ricciardo's 12th in the championship on 11 points. Ocon, again, good here. Alonso did well. Gasly, I think, very unfortunate not to get any points from this race. Just a place off of the points paying positions. I think he had a really, really strong race. Pitted early, had some good pace, managed to cut through. Anyway, quickly before we round up, Red Bull top constructors by quite the margin now. 235 points for them. Ferrari 36 behind in second. Of course, a double DNF for Red Bull and a big weekend for Ferrari could completely change that. Mercury in third on 134 and then McLaren on 59 are in fourth. If Ricciardo was at the races, they could maybe have pushed for third.
Yeah.
Over the course of the
Who knows?
season.
Yeah, still a
but
long way to go.
I don't see them closing up an already 80-point gap.
Nah, you don't know.
No, I don't, but I have a
different
very
grade.
strong guess. 75 points between them. So, Vettel scoring points again. He's now 15th in the championship. He's not moved, but he's gained a point.
Woohoo! Sad.
Yeah, they've not been great, Aston Martin, this year, but they've been better than Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it then. But yeah, that's about all. Next up, Baku, as I mentioned, 2 weeks until that. We've got a lovely break in between.
Yeah.
I believe there might be Formula E on
There
those.
is Formula E
I was going to
this
say,
week.
yeah.
No, not Baku weekend. This weekend coming.
Yes,
In
so
Jakarta.
if you're into that, make sure to check that out. Our preview for that will be out on Friday. But yeah, well, thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
See ya.